Welcome to Voices of Nativity, where we sit down with people who bring our mission to life, from students and alumni to parents, teachers, and friends of the school. All right, well, welcome back to Voices of Nativity. I'm so excited for this episode. I know I said it every time, but we are so blessed to have some tremendous guests. But ladies and gentlemen, today joining me, Mrs. Diamond Richards,
yes.
Class Nativity of 2012, which is, by the way, our very first graduating class in the history of our school. Diamond, thank you so much for joining us today on our show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. This nativity means so much to me, so this no-brainer to be here.
And you know, we were talking a little earlier about one of the young ladies at the school, and she's on student council, and some of the things that you and your first class, you know, probably dreamt of, right? One of the things student council does is they give tours now. So like they do oh, yes, ma'am. It is beautiful, Diamond. You're going to love it. You're going to love to see the legacy that you and your class started and you guys laid the foundation for is really thriving. And so one of the things she talks about is the dream wall that you guys helped create. It's still there. You know, that's sacred ground. That dream wall, as long as I got air in my lungs and we're in that beautiful building, we're going to have that dream wall. So for me, this is an absolute treat. I know we've talked before, but we met during the pandemic. And so it was virtual. And one of the first memories I had of you is I was coming in as a new president. We were looking for a story, a highlight, to your point earlier when we talked off camera. And you, without a doubt, without hesitation, in the middle of a pandemic, absolutely, I can do a video out to let the world know, let the community know who I am, what I'm doing, and also, you know, why I love Nativity and what it means to have others love Nativity and support it. So I want to say thank you on air live for everybody to know how much we appreciate you. You are a model, and hopefully when you meet the young people, and I'm gonna show them your picture on the wall. Yeah. Well, we got the Hall of Fame, right? Literally the Hall of Fame with your picture, all the graduating classes on there, and then just let you go. And so again, I'm so glad to have you, and I would love for people just, you know, to learn a little bit more about you. You know, where you are on your journey. I know I talked about class of 2012, our first, you know, really one of our first alumni groups, the first alumni group. Sorry, let me get that right. And, you know, I got a chance to meet a special guest earlier. Yes, but, you know, tell the world a little bit about, you know, Diamond Richards, where you are and what you're up to and where you're going.
Yeah, well, as you say, I'm formerly Diamond Moorhead.
That's right.
Recently married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter. And so I've been able to build and grow my family, and that is priceless.
It is.
I attended Bishop Kearney and Our Lady of Mercy while still here in Rochester.
That's right.
And then went over to Siena College in Albany. Yeah. Best decision I ever made. Best 4 years of my life. And I was lucky to still have Nativity continuously pushing me, being a support. So thank you for that and being able to remain connected. And then as the world kind of went crazy with COVID.
Absolutely.
My mother led us down to North Carolina, so we live in the RDU area, and it has become my second home. That's awesome. I did a year of law school, and then I had my daughter, and I was like, "Whoa, this is tough. This is tough."
Right.
And it is still something that I will accomplish, but I took a breather and decided to get my master's of public administration at Central.
Again.
Thank you. And God works in all the best ways, because originally I wanted to get my master's before going to law school, actually. But I was so eager to go. I was like, come on, let me just do it. But I'm so glad that it worked out the way it was, because I loved that program. Something that stemmed from my time in Nativity was community, and that program allowed for me to learn how to work within the community and programs in the education world on a different level. And so ultimately my goal beyond being an attorney is to have my own family resource center where legal aid, emergency housing, emergency child care, and essentially being able to give people a second chance at life all in-house. And so every step is just putting together that dream and that blueprint. So that's where I'm at.
Let's go. Listen, I'm inspired. Every time we talk, I'm inspired. the course that you're charting is phenomenal. And I love how, life was happening and you adjusted. You got this beautiful young lady out there. You
gotta keep pivoting.
And absolutely, you got to pivot. You got to be able to say, here we are in this season. Where do I go next? Mm-hmm. The things that you've accomplished and you are accomplishing, Diamond, are amazing. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to know you and to have you in our world. And it's so funny because I'm sitting here listening to you share, what you've been up to and just in awe of it. And thinking, man, how lucky, for our Nativity community, because you talked about that, that community and how that kind of drove you a little bit as you pivoted to the masters you have currently. And how lucky we were to have you in our world and have you a part of our community.
I'm the lucky one. I've taught. I've also was a teacher, 8th grade social studies, and
let's go.
And I have to shout her out, Loretta Yotto. Was the best teacher I had ever had.
Okay.
She was my social studies teacher. She kept me on track when I went left. She reminded me of who I was. So much of who I was as a teacher, so much of who I am as an advocate comes from her. And so if she gets to watch this, thank you.
Oh, I hope so.
Thank you.
I hope so.
But being in other schools, as you get older and you get to high school, college, and in the workforce, you realize, other people didn't receive that kind of love or that kind of nurturing. Mm-hmm. They weren't understanding or digesting what it meant to, recite scholarship and respect, responsibility every day. And you see the difference in the world. Mm-hmm. So I am the lucky one to have received that and be able to navigate the world with those things within me. It's a difference.
That's testimony. Yeah. That's powerful. Well, thank you for that. And I think, I love the shout out to that educator that, had that impact on you. And boy, don't we all kind of need one or two or three of those individuals in our lives that, I'm going left. And then all of a sudden they see it.
They're like,
and they're like, right. Like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I see you over there, but can I give you a suggestion? Mm-hmm. Here's a recommendation. If you think about it this way. And so I think about my next question, what in that vein, what's your earliest memory of Nativity?
Oh my.
Yeah.
I was there all 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. There's so many. You have to say educationally, extracurricular.
I love it.
Extracurricular, or I don't know if you still do them, but we used to do the summer camps.
Yes, all three.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So Donnie, you can hit on whatever resonates the most with you. It could be academically, it could be the extracurricular, the extended day, or it could be summer. All three of the components that your group was a part of basically was built with you. Right, you were the first class.
Yeah, we were the guinea pigs.
Listen, absolutely. You guys were like, all right, we're doing this thing. Okay, Diamond, Luke and them, right? All of those guys. Let's do this. So you can pick from any of those.
Oh man, I think one thing that stands out to me most, I guess not one, is like we used to do Zumba in the afternoons, or we had the Food Link come and we do cooking classes. Mm-hmm. And we'd be like, oh my gosh, this isn't good. We don't want to try that.
That's the thing.
And those were just so fun. We would go ice skating.
Yes.
And those are moments where like, we would be like complaining, oh, it's cold. But like, it was so much fun. And we realized that those are the moments where you're really bonding with each other. Mm-hmm. And the level of exposure I was having at such a young age of different things in the community. Those are the things that come back to my mind frequently.
That's great.
In the school, I have to say, like I said, I'll bring up Miss Shadow. We did so many projects, and she would have us present. And, we were little grueling middle schoolers. We're like, I don't want to get up there. And it was only like 12 of us, so like we see each other every day. You shouldn't be nervous.
Right.
But she really pushed us to get outside of our comfort zone. We did so many different projects. So now when, as an 8th grade social studies teacher, it was like so natural to me.
It was natural, yeah.
Because I was like, I learned all of this and learned it well.
Yes.
It was just so natural. It just flowed out of me being able to teach them in a different modes. It wasn't just one way that she ever taught. It was really in all of the teachers. It was lectures, it was projects, it was going outside somewhere, it was the field trips. It was just so many different modes of learning. And I appreciate that so much now, being at Siena, studying abroad. I appreciate experiential learning so much. Everywhere I go, wherever I decide to continue to learn, I'm like, well, what is the experiential learning component? Because that's what really matters.
Yeah, that really resonated with you.
And our field trips, I think we went, it was the 2-week summer camp.
Yep.
And me and a former student, Zaida, we were out there on a canoe. I had never gone on a canoe on a lake.
Yes.
And we flipped the canoe. And it was, we just kept screaming, the seaweed, the seaweed. And I don't remember which teacher was like with us. They were like, it's fine. It's just rock. Just come out. But we were just so outdone. Because for many of us, that was the first experience of being out in nature for such a length of time and really being able to do those different water activities. So I think in all things, it was just so much exposure at such a young age. So as I was able to progress, my requirements, my standards were higher because this is what I was used to.
That's powerful. So that, I love that. Oh, the seaweed. You know, it warms my heart. So like knowing that your group was the first to start this journey and how you communicate all the things that you enjoyed about each piece of it. What warms my heart, Diamond, is, you know, I'm currently a steward of keeping that what you guys started, you know, that all the testing, all the test subject stuff, all that, like that community that was created with you guys. And now the bar is, like, to your point, and everything you do personally, professionally, the standard is higher. You expect in how you engage and how you taught because of how you experience education. It warms my heart that we're continuing. I'm hearing you talk and I'm going, oh, we still got that. We've expanded here. We still got that. Yep, they're still getting on that canoe in the summer. They're still doing that. They're still doing the field trips. We're still asking, we're still encouraging and empowering the young people to get up in front of their classmates as well as our community. And we talked a little bit earlier when we were in the hall, you know, something that, you know, that student council that we have now that was kind of in the minds of your group, but now as it came to fruition, now they run the school. I mean, I may have the title of president, but I got to talk to the council members about where they want to go and what they're accomplishing. And they've now become the individuals that, and we talked about this on another episode, but they give the tours. Like, so when we invite people in and, you know, you guys are meeting individuals and shaking hands and saying, welcome to Nativity, because it's your home, it's your school, the pride and the love and adoration you have for your community. Now, I'm a co-pilot. I mentioned this earlier on another episode. I get to sit back and go on the tour and watch a student like you give the tour and talk about the programs and talk about the pieces you just mentioned and what they love and what they they're working on. And I think about, from that perspective, Diamond, if you were talking to someone, which, you know, right now, so someone's going to see this episode and go, man, that's how, and this young lady, dynamic, she, you know, her family, she's on her journey, this little school that she feels so passionate about is wonderful. And so if you were talking to someone for the first time about Nativity, how would you describe Nativity to that person or those individuals?
Nativity is a place where God is there.
Amen.
I will start with that. God is there through just the building, the teachers, the administrators. And so whether a child is believing or not, because we had many students, right, that were not Christian.
Still do.
But there's something there, a level of respect, that responsibility, that scholarship, just those values are embedded in every part of Nativity. And you see that through students. We came in there all from so many different backgrounds, so many different family dynamics. Yeah. But when we walked in that chapel as graduates, there was something we had all built together.
Yeah.
And it was a value of community. You know, being able to be a part of a place where the donors are helping tutor.
Still in play. That's so big. Part
it's so much bigger than, like you say, just the test scores or money. It's about really building the person.
Yeah.
And like I say, I'm forever grateful to be a part of that. And I can tell the difference from others that weren't loved on the same way Nativity is loved on me and so many students that have come through your doors.
That's powerful. And for me, it's affirming to hear you talk about God in the space and God in the place, and the fact that, to your point, we had so many different faith traditions. We still do. It's only grown, Diamond. And amen, right? What I love about Nativity is we celebrate each other. So now, we've incorporated interfaith prayer services. Right? So you may believe, or you may have faith that's different than you and I, but we respect and honor it, and we want to hear about it, and we want to learn. And what we found, which has been, I think, one of the most amazing things, is the connection between different faiths. There's more in common than we have apart from each other, or we have indifference from each other. It's just there's this kind of core, this thread. You talk about it: respect, scholarship, and responsibility, like that. Spirituality. There's a thread that kind of goes through all these different faiths, and then when we have a chance to raise them up and and really enjoy each other, you see it. And then one of my favorite things on campus, and I'm not sure if it was for your class of 12, but what now we got we have 65 on campus right now. Fantastic. I'm hoping to get to 70 next year. We're trying to push. Yeah. I want that because we want that help more, support more great future leaders like yourselves, right? What I love about this kind of connectivity between the different faiths is the friendships that come out of it. You may be someone of the Muslim or Christian, but you realize that your brothers and sisters on this journey together, right? It's like this really cool thing where you think about all the the divisiveness in this world right now, right? Some of the challenges we're all facing locally on a global scale. We get to see. I get to see the foundation that you guys built every day, where we have different faith traditions, different kind of communities coming together and finding common ground and building friendships that last forever. So I'm very grateful to you. I would say that's a beautiful way to tell someone about the school. My question for you, thinking about your early days, what was, and I know you talked about your fantastic teacher, but what was that moment where you realized, okay, and you talked about this earlier too, about where you felt loved on, and you knew that other communities or other kids, in your same age group may not be getting the same love that you were receiving. What was it, or what thing was it, like you're like, oh, this is different? Like, it could have been later on, you could have been in high school, or you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but that was different. The way I was poured into and supported and heard, this is different. Nativity, okay, now I get it. Like, what was that? What did that look like for you?
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you knew this or if I've ever even shared it, but my experience is a little different because I actually went to St. Monica's long time ago.
Okay.
And Sister Diane Crawley was the, I believe, assistant principal there.
Okay.
And so my mom heard about Nativity from her. I think she ran into her and she said, we're opening this school. So I already had a little bit of, a taste of what I was walking into.
Yes, ma'am.
And when her tenure at Nativity, she was a huge part of knowing that I was cared for, that me, my family, and everyone there were respected, and that I was loved. She was consistent in who she was. The standard, when we didn't want to, when we didn't like it, we were going to complain. This is the standard. And it wasn't in, a mean way. It was always loving. And so by, 6th, 7th grade, I'm like, okay, this is real. Like, even though this is a new school, the bar is just continuously being raised in all the best ways. Yeah. And I think I'd like to say me and the other 11 students that graduated, by 8th grade, we were really a part of something great here. This is cool. When you talk to your other friends and what was going on at school, they weren't doing half of some of the things we were doing. So I think it wasn't just one moment. I think it was a continuous thing year after year as new students came in. Their classes were bigger than ours. And parents that were committed to their children showing up for our
partnership.
pilot programs or sports and stuff. So
Yes.
like I said, I think it was something that grew over time, and we crack up bawling when we stood up there graduating, because it was so sad to have to leave. After being a part of something, just, it was fun, it was transformative. It was the same way people say college is like the best 4 years of your life. I feel like I can say that of middle school being the best 3 years of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Diamond, thank you for that. Okay, yeah, that hits.
And middle school is hard.
I was gonna say,
middle school is hard.
And I remember, like
middle school is hard.
That hits. That
you
really
have
resonates.
Hard days, but even in the midst of hard days amongst each other,
yes,
it was still, this is family.
That is profoundly beautiful, and you're right. And like middle school is the most awkward time for humans on this
Yes.
journey called life. We're growing quick, and emotions are changing, and we're trying to understand. And to have that testimony, that kind of conviction of that experience for you and for your group, and even as it grew, and the next class came in. Now we do 4 years, right? You were because you were sixth grade, and then we've now got to fifth grade, so now we do 4 years.
That was something that was definitely spoke about. I remember that.
And so just knowing that, and that's kind of I want to live up to that, and so I'm grateful to hear that, and I think about how powerful that story is of like, oh, this is one of the best 3 years of my life, and what that meant for you. I wonder, from your perspective, and you mentioned the journey, like, you did Mercy, then you did BK. From your perspective, how do you think, or how did Nativity kind of prepare you for that next step in high school? And we're talking about, locally, right? Mercy and BK are two, college prep high schools, private. So, our philosophy, and is trying to help young people find the best possible high school,
right,
and then go beyond, right? And so I'm excited to tell you about some of the new stuff, but before I get there, from your perspective on your journey, how do you feel Nativity prepared you for that next step at those schools?
Well, as a high schooler, most people are engaging in extracurriculars, whether that be sports or clubs. I think having been at Nativity and staying after school to do homework and then extracurriculars, I was already accustomed to doing both and maintaining that, of still getting my work done, still being fully engaged in extracurriculars. And so that wasn't a huge transition. For some high schoolers, maybe they haven't done as many things outside of just school, and it can be a lot. Some days I was at Mercy, I remember freshman year, from sun up to literally sundown. Practice may not be till 7:00, and being used to staying there, getting my homework done, and then being able to go to practice. And so that wasn't as tough of a transition. I would also say that, going to the Catholic schools in the area, the standards are also very high, and you're expected to, you're coming home with a couple hours of homework. You are engaging in, different clubs and responsibilities. And so I will say I just felt more prepared and capable of getting my work done, even when it was a pretty high demand.
That's beautiful. You're right. Those long days, we're a little less long now, like in the sense of you guys, your class went after it. Like you guys were sun up to sundown on campus at Nativity, which I can see, you're at Mercy, BK. Okay, yep, this is what we're doing. All right, I'm gonna hunker down over here in this desk. I'm gonna knock out this work, and then I'm ready for practice. And I think that's one of the things that we really want to help provide continuously. Having you share that, and it affirms to me that we're still on the right path, because that's the model, right? We want to continue to have extended day. We want to have the kids, the small class sizes, right? A little bit bigger now, so that typically they're 15, 16, 17 as compared to your 12. But the babies, rephrase, the fifth graders are still smaller. They're always 10 to 12. They're always that. We kind of add some kids in the grade that you came in, which is sixth grade, in the hopes to kind of set that stage of, all right, so we have, teacher, we have volunteers, right? And so maybe the ratio is 1 to 7, 1 to 8, so we can go a little bit deeper. But also, as we figure out what's your passion, what's some of the things that you need to work on, or some of the things that you need some more support in, we can prepare you for that next step of the rigor. So you can kind of walk into, like you said, oh, I'm ready for this. And I'm not sure if everyone else is, but I'm ready for this. That's really our goal, is to kind of provide that support to young people like you, from us to the high school. And now we're working on the college stuff. Just, I know we talked a little bit offline, Diamond, but I'm really excited. So like my vision, and this, I'm putting this on air. And I know you're in North Carolina, you got the beautiful family, and I know you're still on your journey, with law, but, you got 2 homes.
Always.
And so let me just share my vision, so we can just put it in the air, when 2 of us get together, right?
Yeah.
So my vision for the school, as we continue to evolve as an organization, right, is to help support scholarships on campus for middle school, then provide tuition assistance for our high school kids going to those private college prep high schools, and create potential scholarships for college. Right. So I want to be able to help mitigate, regardless of the zip code. I say this on the show every time. We don't get to choose the zip code or the community or the country we're born into. Right. So some of those things are just those things we have to address or adjust to. And so Nativity focuses on, well, let's be that partner. Let's be that community around a young person. So we're working on that. We got our first school at RIT. We're working on our second school. We're so fortunate. We're working on 2 other schools right now. So donors who are walking alongside us, right? Like you talked about, they'll volunteer in the class, they'll tutor, and also they'll give of their treasures to help the next person up in the future. So that's all right now happening. So so the ground floor that you guys created, it is building and scaffolding. And my ultimate goal is permanence. So, purchase and endow the facility for the future, and then have an alumni come back and be the next president of the school. And I can go ahead, I said this, so I can say it on every episode now, and I can go back on the board, right? And I can help the next leader. Yes. So I put that in the air only to say, this is that moment where I can just see it. Every time I get a chance to sit down with individuals like you, I can see my vision or our vision coming into fruition. So no pressure. I'm just saying.
Listen, wherever God leads me.
Amen.
I'm willing to go.
You are, you're fantastic. And so with that in mind, now you have it. Now you know the full vision. We go in places. I want to make sure we have permanence.
Right.
I want to ensure that everyone, because you're a spark, right? You look at the family, right? Like look, you're already creating your community, and what's coming from that. And so every individual student that we can support and we can just provide a resource to is another individual that can open up a door and say, hey, follow me this way.
Right.
Follow me this way. So I'm so grateful for your testimony. So I would say to you, my question, I guess, knowing the vision and understanding where we are, if you were talking to a young person right now and they're coming in, so like, couple things, right? We're recruiting every year. We're trying to recruit new families to say, hey, listen, this is what we do over here. We don't just stop like middle school and we wish you the best. We're going to stay connected to you and support you. So if there's challenges or opportunities and you need some resources or just need a helping hand, we're going to be available to you, high school, college, even career now. We're helping folks get that network thing going on so they can say, hey, I want to do this. I want to be that. Okay. So looking back, or if you think about it, what are the skills and the lessons from Nativity that you really have kept? And you talked a little bit about this earlier, but you've really kept and have really helped you move forward, that you would share if you had an audience of students right now and some alums too, because they got a bunch now. We have almost 200 alumni across the board. So they're sitting in the audience or they're in an auditorium right now and they're listening to you, or actually watching this show right now and they're hearing from you. What were the lessons? What were the skills and lessons that you got from Nativity that prepared you to be the person you are and you are becoming, because you're still evolving in this amazing individual?
Somebody asked me a similar question not too long ago. Actually, I was on a panel for study abroad, actually. And I told them, do it all. Do it scared. Do it broke. Do it by yourself. If need, do it. Just do it. I think Nativity instilled a certain level of, I belong here, I can do it, and it's mine. And I think that I've carried that all throughout up until now, knowing that the spaces that I walk into, I deserve to be there. And
absolutely,
when I share the information that I've learned, it's valuable. And I think Nativity fostered that, grew that, maybe planted the seed to grow that, because, you know, as a middle schooler, as African American, there are so many people that are trying to say what you say don't matter, or that you shouldn't be here, or how dare you think that you can continue to move up the ladder. And Nativity showed me all those things are wrong. Throw it out every time. I would say continue to do the extracurriculars, engage. If a new pilot program comes about,
right,
offer to, I don't know, do the announcements, offer to share your thoughts. Those little things make a huge difference. Continuously just putting yourself out there. You never know who's in the room. You never know where it's going to take you. So take the risk with all things. And I think the beautiful thing about Nativity was know that if you take that leap, you have a family to fall back on. And so that should take out the fear. 'Cause you'll be okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Be courageous. Right? That's powerful. I think from that perspective, Diamond, my goodness, it almost really kind of dovetails into, now you're talking to, you know, families and others of Nativity. You know, is the advice the same? How do, you know, when I ask you, or how would you say to them, listen, how help me communicate to them how they can help kind of continue to push the mission and the vision? So alumni and alumni parents and other members of the community, how do we, you know, get them to continue to support what we're trying to accomplish from your perspective?
Showing up. Showing up. That is step one. Like, say, as a former educator, I've sat on the phone with parents of, I need you to come. I need you to check your students' account, check their grades, you know. But showing up beyond just sports. At the plays, at the recitals, the events, the presentations. Show up. Right? That's I think the first way that a child knows that they are worth it, that they're valuable, that they're important. Showing up, and then volunteering.
Yes.
My mother, she is a volunteer. She's always had me engaged in various community events, but seeing, like I spoke on earlier, donors tutor consistently, not once every couple months, a quarter, every day, consistently volunteering. That was huge for me to see. So taking the time, even if you're not coming to help with homework with your kid particularly, but another kid who may be interested in your career field, coming in for the, what do they call those, like career days.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Career days. Just taking your time. When you take your PTO for a trip, say, I'll use one of those days for my kid's school. Different things like that. Becoming just more engaged. Coming to walk up 10, 15 minutes before your kid gets out of school and talking to you. Talking to administrators. What is it that the school needs? How can I be involved? I think that's the first step.
I love that. Diamond, I think about this. I'm having a full circle moment for me in my now 6 years. You know, early conversation, like I mentioned, you know, you were the first one, like we were in a pandemic, we were trying to fundraise for the school because we wanted to make sure, to your point, you know, our young people have, right, even though we're going through the chaos of the pandemic and where they're going home for a little bit, right, because we school at home and we're not sure, but we wanted to ensure that when we came back, because we knew we were going to come back, that the kids had the resources. I think about this full circle moment of when I came into the school and, you know, I saw the dream wall and I learned about all of you, and then I got a chance to work with you indirectly when you did the video for me to tell the world about, hey, Nativity is a great place. You continue to be that advocate. And just to see you rising, meet your beautiful daughter today, to see you on your journey, I'm just so inspired and so grateful to you. And, you know, I can't wait for this current generation of youngsters to meet you. Because I always tease, I will leave it with this. I got to tease myself. I got the silver in the beard now. Diamond, I got the silver in the beard. So when I'm talking to your point, hey, come talk to Mr. Smith. You know, like you know a little bit about my story and my journey. I'm a Rochester guy, and so if I didn't have the mentor I had in my life, you know, it would have gone left. I might have stayed left, but he helped me go right. So I'm telling those stories, and they hear it. They're like, "All right, Mr. Smith, cool," but like he got that silver. So the fact that the next generation is right in front of me, and the youngsters and the alum and the families and those volunteers he talked about and the donors that are still breathing life into the school for the next generation, they're going to hear you. It just gives me this peace that the future is bright at Nativity. And so I want to thank you for coming in today. I want to thank you for spending more time being such an amazing advocate and champion for your school. And I can't wait for the world to see this episode and to hear from you and to understand that this mission is real. It is a long-term relationship. And the fact that you're paying it forward is an absolute gift. So, Diamond, thank you so much for today.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I hope all families, I wish Nativity could take all the Rochesterian babies.
I know. You're right.
But I know what you guys are doing is worth it. And so you are doing an amazing job. I am proud to say where I've gone to school and share with people what Nativity is still doing. I love to hear that you got a couple of my babies that I actually know. They're friends of mine. Yeah, we have to tell you about that. So
let's go.
I take pride in Nativity and being a part of it. And I hope that I can continue to volunteer, grow, whatever is needed. I want to continue to do that because when I'm a trillionaire, hopefully one day, I don't know, I'll give Nativity it all because it's worth it.
Amen. Trillionaire or the future president. So I had to say it.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. God has that plan.
He does.
Diamond, thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
I greatly appreciate it.